Hello everybody, welcome back. So I'm going to show you an introduction to Bitsgap's new feature, which is the futures bot. So I'm testing this at the moment. I'm one of 100 people who have been able to test this bot. It's due to be released in the next few weeks, and I thought I'd just make this video before it gets released to show you how it's performed so far, and I'll make another video when it is released, I suppose, as a tutorial about how to set these things up. So if anyone's ever done futures trading before, you're aware that it's increasing the risk of getting liquidated or losing money. I mean, cryptocurrency is a volatile asset anyway, and so you could argue, why would you even need to use futures? I mean, it's a highly overused tool, I have to say, but it can be pretty useful if you know how to do trading. Now, if you're just learning, or if you're looking to, I suppose, take on a bit more risk, then people go into margin trading willy-nilly, and sometimes they do, they make a lot of money, and sometimes they get wrecked. They do get wrecked. So what this is doing is it's limiting that option of getting wrecked. You can still get wrecked on it, but it's limiting it. And I'm very glad in a way that over the last few days we had this horrendous dump, okay, because everything was going swimmingly, everything was looking great with this bot, and it was doing extremely well. Each one of these greens is where it's opened along. Every time you see a red, it's basically scaling out, taking profits on the way up. So more longs here, scaling out, so lots of reds, lots of greens, and a general uptrend was taking place until the peak, and then it started to go down, and then we had the biggest dump in the world. Well, obviously not, I mean, dumps can be bigger than that, but just from there, the last long that was taken on, 19%. From where I took the bot on, which is around about here, I would have been 13%. Remember, this is 10x'd, so that's not 13%. If I had to go full on all in long, that would be 130% negative at that point, maybe even liquidated perhaps at that point. So this isn't devoid of risk, but when you think about what this is doing, it's spreading the risk over all these grids, dollar cost averaging kind of. So each one of these, we were taking on longs, so it was getting pretty scary, to be honest, when I was watching the bot doing it. But yeah, it wasn't taking on a whole long position here, which would have been deadly. It took on a small long position and a small one here, all the way down here, and then started to sell them appropriately as it came back up. Now, if this had dumped, even further, if this went down another 10%, 20%, then maybe the bot would have liquidated my entire position. Maybe, it probably would have done, to be honest with you. But it didn't, so there is still risk there. And when thinking about the range that's being played here, from the entry point to the worst case scenario, 13%, remember 130%, that would have been with the 10x. From the top to the bottom, from where that last long was in, 23.6%, so that was 236%, that would have been negative if you would have entered around here. So it's spreading the risk out, it's diluting the risk, and it's worked well, and it's brought me up by 116% in 9 days. So I've doubled my money on it, which is good. So let's have a little look about some of the details and what I'd probably change next time. And again, I am going to make a tutorial video when this is officially released. So I set futures bot 10x leverage at cross. Now, I wouldn't do that in the future. I would do an isolated margin next time, because the worst case scenario is this: if this got completely liquidated, right? If my position and my investment got completely liquidated, so that $412 that I put into this bot got completely liquidated, all of these reds would still remain in my account. These are all the little pieces of profit that were taken during right up until the time where I got wrecked officially. So next time I wouldn't use cross margin. Cross means that any profit, any tether that I've got in my futures account is used to offset any losses, whereas an isolated margin, which is what I'll use next time, means that only the original investment gets wiped out, nothing else. So that's what I'll definitely do next time, because if this were to go completely the wrong way and my investment got wrecked completely, at least all of these reds would still be banked, and I would still have, well, not these ones, but all these ones would be profit. So that's a lesson learned. I won't use cross margin again, I will use isolated. But generally speaking, it's worked really well, and I'm not going to complain with doubling my money in 9 days. But I'm not going to tell you now that this is going to work for everybody all the time. You still kind of have to be responsible about what it is that you're doing here. Don't think that just because you've got a bot that's going to do this for you, that it's going to work out perfectly for you. It won't. You're still fully in control of whatever investment that you're deciding to put in. And if you're looking to do a 2x, a 5x, a 10x or more, then that is completely up to you. What you're doing, you're increasing your risk every time you take on more leverage. But I have to say, it's a very good tool, and I will continue to use it. And actually, the way it's going at the moment, when I close this one down, since I've doubled my money, I'll probably set 2 bots up. So compounding my profit. So if and this isn't the right way to think about it, but if I was to double my money every 9 days, let's just say, then next time I'll be looking at, I've got 900 now, and 9 days from now, potentially I could have $1,800, and so on and so on and so on, if you see what I mean. That's not the right way to look at it, because the market changes all the time. And that's another thing that is good about having this bot. I have gone long here because the market would appear for the moment still to be in a bull market, so I went long. This is a long bot. I can also do short bot if the market was to be bearish. You can't have long and short at the same time, which would be amazing if you could do that. I imagine that that's very obviously a bit too complex of a thing to introduce into a futures bot, which is already pretty complex anyway. But it's nice to have the ability to short the market anyway. If we were to enter a period of I suppose a bear market, really. You get bear markets all the time. You get bear markets in bull markets, and at the end of the bull market, we are expected to have quite a significant bear market that could go on for between 6 to 12 months. So having this as another option to profit throughout a sustained downtrend is very valuable. There's not many options available to people, to actually make those kind of trades without taking on, like I say, extreme risk. Shorting is always more risky than longs because there's only so far a short can go. You can't short something into negative money. There's a ground floor that it will have to reach at some point. Whereas going long, it can technically, in theory, go on forever. So yeah, you're always going to be at more risk shorting. But if you wanted to, and again, if we are in a considered and a confirmed downtrend, or bear market preferably, then yes, we have now an option to implement a bot to benefit us throughout that period. So, like I say, I will make tutorials when this gets released. This was just a brief introduction to it, and so far it's worked out pretty well. Despite this horrendous move down here, it's actually come out still okay. So, I'm very pleased with it so far. I'll keep this on, I suppose, for another week, or until, I suppose, the futures bot's released and I come to make a tutorial. Then I will show everybody how to set these up. I suppose in a tutorial fashion. One thing that made me trust this more than anything anyway, because I've been using Bitsgap for their spot bots since November and had really good rewards back. I've made some significant profit, but the way that they work, you pay a subscription, so they don't make any money on the trades that you make. Not like exchanges that implement trading bots. Obviously, they make their money. Their trading bots are free, but they make their money on each trade that gets made, just like I suppose Binance would do, because they've got a futures bot. Binance has a futures bot, but whether or not you decide to trust it is up to you. They obviously have an incentive there to make money on those trades, but Bitsgap doesn't. You pay a subscription to use these bots, and so it's in their business model to not have a bot which is going to wreck you. Because if you decided that you wanted to use this and you set the bot up and you got completely wrecked and the bot didn't work, you're not likely to stay subscribed to that trading bot company, are you? You'd be like, well, this didn't work, I will not pay it again. So I did always. I know that there's risk in this, and obviously that's something that we should all be aware of. It's not the it's not the responsibility of Bitsgap to not have your money get completely wrecked. It's your responsibility at the end of the day. But just to vouch for the bot, they're not going to release a bot that doesn't perform appropriately, because it would damage their business model. They need people to stay subscribed for them to make their revenue. If you don't like the bot, if it didn't work for you, as in like it was a crap bot, then that's their business model out the window. So yeah, like I say, it was just a bit of an overview, and I thought I'd show it to you. So it's done well so far. We'll keep it going for another week, and until the bots are released for everybody, and then I'll make a tutorial video. We'll see where this is at the time, and I'll keep you all updated on the Telegram. But thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day, and take it easy.